And hello there, welcome to Rusty's late night Sudoku stream. I'm doing late night tonight because I've been distracted by other things. Nothing too serious, just this, that, and a few other things that kind of got in my way of doing, getting the stream going. In just a couple of moments here, we'll pause briefly while after I've done the verifications. My clock will be running a little bit before I run off and start solving it. That gives you a chance to stop or pause the video, see if you can grab a screenshot or mark the puzzle down and see if you can solve it on your time as well. All right, I'm going to hit the check, and for about 10 seconds, I'll just sit here and wait and talk it a little bit. There we go. All right, so we're going to see if we can get this solved quickly. I've got some other well, I'm not going to stream the other stuff I'm going to do today, but I've got other things to do, so I want to get started on that. But okay, 15 seconds gone. All right, so a couple possible ones there. I got 4 possibles there, 4 possibles, no, 2 possibles here. That tells me that actually this is a 1 to be plugged in. And we've got like 4 or 5 possibles here. 5 possibles here. That's going to be affected by these two whenever we get that. And we get a singleton or a solve for a 1 here, because it can't be here. That means neither of these can be a 1, but I've got 3 possibilities. All right, on to 2s. We get a 2 up here. And I've got 3 possible 2s there, 4 up here. 5 over here, or up here. Do we have any help here? I've got 4 over here. These are just possibles. We're narrowed down to 2 here, not 1s, but 2s. That means that neither of these can be a 2. So we're down to these 2 possibilities. Down here, we're all covered, or all the bases are covered. So move on to 3s. We get these 2 possibilities here, because if you look at this square, you can see that there's 3s that are blocking it. The one across the top or up the top, they block all of these. So just the 2 there. Got 4 possibilities here at the moment. 2 possibilities here. And over here, we end up with 2 possibilities as well. 1 there and 1 here. I can't mark these over here. I've got 3 possibilities. So on to 4s. We've got a 4 right there, and that shows me I've got 3 other 4s on the board. So one of the solutions is going to be right there. That means I've got another solution that's coming in here. We got 2 possible solutions there. Over here, we've got 2 possible solutions. And unfortunately, that leaves me with 3 possibles here. So we'll move on to 5s. We got a 5 here and a second one down the bottom left square there. That means I've got 2 possible 5s here, not 4s. Yep, 5, not 4, 5. Over here, we get a solution 5 down here. That means that either this one or this one is a 5, and I've got 5 possibilities there. Looks like I've got 4 possibilities here and 3 possibilities here. So it looks like we go on to 6s And it looks like I've got 4 possible 5s here. That doesn't help us at all. So 6s, I've got 1 6 on the board. So we're going to be marking at least one place where, or one square with 2 possible 6s. Also going to put in 2 possible 7s here because this 7, come on, here blocks this square. So 7 7, we got a 6 and 6 here. Up here we've got 5 possible 6s. Everything's open for 6s here right now. Here I've got 4 possible 6s. I've got 5 possible 6s here. And again, here everything's open. Here everything is open. And here everything is open. On to 7s. We've got these 2 marked as possible 7s. I got 3 possibilities here. 3 possibilities here. I've got 3 possibilities here because this one can't be a 7 and these 2 can't be a 7. But unfortunately, I've got nothing providing guidance on these 3. Up here, we've got no guidance at all. We got 3 possible 7s here and 3 possible 7s here. So on to 8s. We've got an 8 here, 8 here. One of these 2 is going to be an 8. We've got 3 possible places for an 8 here until we get something else narrowed down a little bit. I've got 4 possible places for an 8 here, 4 here, 5 possibles up here, and 5 possibles in the square as well. All right, so how about 9s? Oh, we've got a 9, we've got 9s on the board already. It looks like 6 of them. So one of these 2 is going to be a 9. And one of these 2 is going to be a 9. Over here, that's going to be a 9. And that's about as far as I can take that one. So let's go back to looking at the other options here. Ones, we've got 2 possibles there. That's taken care of. Looks like we've got 2 squares that I can't put an earmark in yet. I've got 3 possibles in this square right here. Actually, 5 possibles. And then over here, we've got 2 possibles now. So I can mark those 2. That does tell me something, though, since that's blocked because it's got a 9 in it already. This one's blocked because there's a 3 in it, and 1s belong in this column. Same here, 1s belong in this column because we've got 1s in the other 2 columns here. In this row, a 1 has to be in this row in this square. This one is blocked. This is blocked with a provided number, so this becomes a 1 here. All right, and that fixes this one. It disambiguates that. We're still stuck with the 2 possibilities in this square and this square. How about 2s? We got a 2 here. One of these 2 is going to be a 2. One of these 2 is going to be a 2. We got a 2 here, here, and here. So over here, one of these 2 is going to be a 2. Up here, all I've got is, one of these 2 is going to be a 2. And over here, that leaves us with 4 possibilities. So let's move on to 3s again. One of these 2 is a 3. We've got that marked. How about over here, we've got neither of these 2 can be 3, neither can this one. These 2 can't be a 3, so one of these 2 is a 3, which says this one can't be, making this one into a 3. That being a 3 means one of these 2 is going to be a 3. Doesn't help us enough with some of the others, but let's move on to 4s and see if that helps us. We've got 5, 6 4s on the board, means there's 3 left. and it looks like what we're stuck with is I've got 2 here, there are 2 possibilities there, 2 possibilities there, and 3 possibilities here. So until we get one of these 2 squares disambiguated, and I can see some possibilities for that. If in this square this becomes a 1, it disambiguates and says that's a 4. If this becomes a 2, it says one of these 2 is still a 4, but this one isn't. Or if this one is a 2, this becomes a 4, that's a 1, and obviously that would be a 2 here. We'll see what we come up with in a little. How about 5? We've got the 2 5s on the board, or no, 3 5s on the board. I've got 3 possibilities down here, 4 possibilities here, 4 possibilities here, and 4 possibilities here, 2 possibilities here. So we can't do anything more with 5s yet. 6s, kind of in the same boat. We only have the 1 given 6 on the board and 2 possibles down at the bottom of that column. 7s, we might be able to do something more with. Let's take a look. So we got a 7 here, 7 on the other side of the board in the row below, and one of these 3 is going to be a 7, but up here we've got 3 more, 4 possibility. Oh no, one of these 2 is going to be a 7, because that's all that's left that is not built into this row are 7. So none of these are 7s. One of these 2 is going to be a 7. And that doesn't disambiguate much. However, if we take a look, we've got a 1, pair of 2s over here, 3, 4, 5. What we've got left is a pair, or is 4 possibilities for a 6, and 2 for a 7, and 4 possibilities for an 8. We can mark those in. I'll do that after I get done with the 7s, 8s, and 9s here. However, we now know that one of these 2 is going to be a 7. This one isn't, so that makes this a 7. That says one of these 2 is going to be a 7. With one of these 2 as being a 7, that means down here, that's going to be 7. That's going to be a 9. That we don't have anything fixing those yet. However, that means that this is going to be a 9 because we've already disambiguated, or we've already blocked this one here. No disambiguation yet, but, or at least not enough. We've got a 9 in all of the squares. See about 8 again. We've got 8 here and here with 2 possible 8 here. That means this is going to be an 8, and that means this is going to be what's left here, which looks like it's going to be a 6. So now we've got 2 6s on the board, and we got 2 more possibilities for 6 here. Over here, we've got 4 possibilities up here for 6. 3 possibilities for, or 4 possibilities for 6 here. Here we've got 2 possibilities for 6 now. So we got a 3 6 pair there, 7 2 pair here. That means that whatever's not marked on the board goes here. I've got a 1, now 2s, 3s. Looks like this is going to be a 4. That changes this to a 4, and this becomes a 5. Does that help anywhere else? Do I have 5s on the... one of these 2 is now going to be a 5. And we got a 4 here, so that's not going to change that. However, this 4 here, along with this one down here, and this one here, along with this one here, means this is going to be a 4. That turns that into a 2. Now we've got what is missing in this set. I've got 1's earmarked. We've got 2, 3, 4 in the as possibilities. Looks like what's remaining is a pair of possible 5, and that means down here we've got a pair of possible 5. 5 can't go here, so we're going to come back to that, but I'm pretty sure we're going to find that is a 3. Mostly because I've got an 8-5 pair here. In fact, let's go ahead and mark that as 3. That means this up here is a 3. Turns this into a 6. This becomes a 7. And this becomes a 2. This one couldn't be a 3 to begin with because it was blocked there. Let's see. Do we have anything else useful out of this? So we got in this square, we've got, okay, up to the top left square. One of these 3 is going to be a 2. 3, 4, 5, 6. One of these 2 is going to be a 7. That means this one is not. Then this one is. Let's put in the 2 missing 8 down here now, since there's only 2 places for an 8 there. And then this is going to be an 8. This is going to be a 3. This had to be an 8 because the row needs one. This couldn't be an 8 because of this 8 here. So onwards, we've got 3 possible places for an 8 here. We'll come back to that. 2 7s in here. It looks like what I'm missing is the 3 or the 2s, 8s, and we've got those 2 possible 7s. Right. Onward. See if we've got anything we can do over here. Let's see. Look at this square because I've only got the one earmarked as a 3, and that is a 3. So let's go ahead and finish that earmark. I got a 1, 2, 3, 4. One of these 2 is going to be a 5. Don't know which yet. One of these 3 is going to be a 6. One of these 2 is going to be an 8. Don't know which yet. We'll see if, oh, well, not that one. So it means this is an 8, and that means I've got 2 possibilities for a 6. If I take a look over here, that's blocked from being a 6. This one is not blocked, neither is this one. So this is still possibly a 6. Down here, we're still blocked for a 6 there. This one is not blocked for a 6. However, because of everything else we've got here, we know that this 6 and this 6 mean there needs to be a 6 in this row column. That becomes the 6. And we now have a 7 going in here. This becomes a 5. So not a 5 up here. I've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So one of these is going to be a 6. I've got 3 possibilities, so we'll just keep those in mind. So I got 2 possibilities for a 6 over here and down here. That means one of these 2 has to be a 6 in this square, and I've already got a 6 in this column or row, so it can't be this one. So this is a 6. That turns this into a 2. What we got left here are a couple of possibilities for an 8, which doesn't help down here. I've got 5, 6 pairs here, 5, 6 pairs here. However, it may help us over here. Nope, not enough. However, let's take a look. We've got 3 possibilities for us. Okay. So anything useful here? Well, we're down to one, two, 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 and the missing number here is a 6. Any one of these three could be a 6. Up here we've got 6 and, nope, not 6. 2, one of these two is going to be a 2. This one is not. And 8 is the other one that's missing, and there's 3 possibilities there. 2 possibilities down at the bottom. So if we can disambiguate anything else here, we can plug in those 8. Let's start with the 5 6s here. Or no, the 5 1 here. Let's mark this as 1 and this at 5. That makes this into a 1. One of these 2 is going to be the 6. Except that we know over here, this one is, this is going to be a 6. So this is going to be a 5. 7, 8 out down here, we take care of a 5 and a 6 as well. That makes this into a 6 or 5 and 8 here. 8 and 6 here. 2 and 6 here. That makes this into an 8. This becomes a 2. This becomes a 7. We get a 7, or an 8 here, and a 7 here to finish it out. All right, 20 minutes and 8 seconds minus the 15 seconds I waited. It could be 20 or 19 minutes and 53 seconds, but I'll mark it as 20 minutes and 8 seconds. I want to say thanks to everybody who did hang out with us. I hope you had a good evening, and we will see you again tomorrow, I hope.